What's up guys, this is Senna from Senna Drops and Ice Cream. 皆さんこんにちは。Senna です。A common question that I get asked from my subscribers is, how can I be motivated when studying English? So in this video, I will give you 4 tips to help you stay motivated for learning English. I understand that this is one of the most frequently asked questions. It's because I think after you've been studying English for a while, it's easy to feel unmotivated or uninspired because you get sick of studying this language or something like that. I think most of us feel motivated when we start something new, whether it's about learning English, trying to learn new skills, or working out. We tend to start strong and feel highly motivated at the beginning. However, doing something consistently for a long time is a different story. I'm sure a lot of us have experienced a situation that we thought we were going to start something and did it for 3 days, then quit. It's easy to start and continue doing something until we feel that things are not working out well for us. We may get discouraged or our body may start resisting the change. That's when we start making excuses like, I don't see results, so I might not be good at this. Maybe I'm not good at learning languages, or working out isn't for me. Staying in our comfort zone is normal because it's our human nature to resist change. Changing is always uncomfortable and uncertain, right? No one wants to make mistakes or fail. But here's the hard truth. That's the only way to reach your goals, to see results and achieve the things that you'd like to accomplish, especially for language learning. You make a lot of mistakes and fail so many times. But when that happens, you think about what you could have done better or what you would do next time. That mindset makes you stay motivated and keep going, especially when things are tough. Let me quickly talk about the importance of motivation for learning English. There's so many English learning methods that you can do. Obviously, there are good learning methods and bad learning methods. Good learning methods are more time efficient and help you improve your English quicker than bad learning methods. But whatever the English methods you use, any of those methods will work if your motivation is high. The only thing that stops you from progressing your English is to quit learning this language. In other words, you keep improving if you don't stop learning. Therefore, regardless of good or bad methods that you use, you're ensured to progress if you have high motivation because you won't stop learning. That's why motivation is important, because it's the fuel for you to progress your English. On that note, here is the first tip that will help you stay motivated for learning English. Number 1. Use meaningful materials to practice English with. Have you ever thought that learning from textbooks provided by school is boring? Yes, I have. When I was in junior high school, I was inspired by my English teacher because he taught me why English was an important language to learn and how we could learn new skills and gain knowledge through using English. I never had the opportunities to learn these perspectives from any textbooks that I used because textbooks just focused on the language itself and they didn't teach me what I could do with this language or how fun my life would be if I could speak English, etc. So when my English teacher inspired me, that was when I realized that I needed to learn something new with English, and not to just learn this language through textbooks. Textbooks are crucial for you to gain knowledge of new English words, expressions, and grammar rules. But if you want to be motivated or inspired, you need to do something that the textbooks cannot teach you. That's why I want you to use English as a tool to read about and listen to materials that you find inspiring. I like topics about psychology, leadership, and life, so I've read a lot of books like these. For you, this can be different. You might like cooking, science, physics, or sports. Then you need to find materials that you can learn about them in English. The difference between using textbooks and finding your own materials is that you learn the English language from textbooks, and you learn something new or something that you're interested in through materials that you discover by using English. So please spend some time choosing materials that are inspiring and interesting to you. Another important thing is to select a mixture of easy and challenging materials. Motivation can be quite sensitive. If you always use easy materials, then there would be no challenge for you, then you would be likely to get bored. But if you always use challenging materials that are way beyond of your current English level, then you would feel discouraged and lose motivation because the materials are too hard. If you started learning English recently, then you would choose easy materials for 90% of the time and choose challenging materials for 10% of the time. These percentages should change depending on which level you are in English. I would like to suggest that when it comes to choosing challenging materials, do not choose things that you can't understand at all, because that indicates the level is too high and you won't be able to learn much from those materials. So make sure to select challenging materials that you can still enjoy or listening to in that you come across some new words and phrases. Number 2, set a clear goal. When you have a clear goal, it's going to motivate you because you know what you're working towards. There's a clear correlation between motivation and a goal. Do you remember I mentioned how motivation was the fuel for your English learning? Let's say you're a pilot and have a high-tech airplane. The gas tank is full and you have huge motivation. But if you don't know the destination, which is your goal in this case, then even if you took off nicely, you would be lost in the air because you have no idea where you're going to. That's why you need to have a clear goal so that you can use your energy and motivation towards the goal that you would like to accomplish. For English learning, you might want to consider long-term goals and short-term goals. For long-term goals, you can think about something like, I want to be fluent in English because, or something that you want to achieve in the long term. However, I feel that a lot of English learners talk about being fluent in English as their only goal to accomplish. Unfortunately, this goal is a long-term one, and it's too vague that you won't be able to measure your progression properly. This is because even native speakers are continually improving their fluency in the language. We can always learn new words and phrases to improve our English. This is why we also need to set up short-term goals that are realistic and achievable in a week or month. For instance, I want to watch YouTube videos in English for at least 30 minutes or 10 minutes every day. You can establish as many goals as you would like, but always make sure to think about long-term goals that give you inspiration and short-term goals that you can work on and see your progression towards achieving your long-term goals. Number 3, use English. I talked about the importance of finding ways to learn English apart from textbooks that we always use in school. Learning through experience is one of the best ways to learn English. I would like you to use English as much as possible. So I want you to find people that you can speak English with. You might want to connect with people that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. Or you might want to find people that are interested in learning Japanese or about Japan, so that you can teach them Japanese and about Japan in English. It might be hard for you to find people that speak English depending on where you live. If this applies to you, then you can consider finding people through online platforms like italki or HelloTalk to have better opportunities to use English. For those of you who haven't had any English conversations before, please be prepared that it's gonna be extremely difficult at first. Until I became confident about speaking in English, I had made countless mistakes, been through awkward situations that I forgot words in the middle of a conversation because I was so nervous, or that people couldn't understand what I was saying because of my accent, etc. But all the embarrassing and frustrating moments that I had when speaking English made me think critically about where I could improve, and they had a significant positive impact on my English progression. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess. The final point is the most important thing that I would like you to remember when learning English. Number 4, use your body. Energy and motivation are connected. Naturally, when you feel great, you want to do more activities, and that indicates high motivation. When you feel terrible, you have low energy and you want to do few activities. That indicates low motivation. One of the easiest ways to feel great when you learn something is to use your body. But when it comes to learning or studying, I believe most of us picture ourselves sitting down on chairs and writing things down to memorize something. Why? Because this is how we are always taught about learning and studying in school. Personally, I think school is one of the elements that destroy our motivation, and the learning method is not as effective as it can be. Well, this obviously depends on countries, but let's talk about the Japanese school system as an example. In school, students should be exposed to different learning methods ideally. But in reality, they're taught about everything in the same way, by sitting in class. So let's think about what you do with your body in school. You don't do anything. You sit in a class and don't move at all. You normally just listen to teachers talking all day, which is pretty much the definition of boredom. If you integrate English learning with moving your body or doing activities, then you feel great and productive, which leads to high motivation. If this way of learning was combined with the common school learning style, then it would be amazing for students. But the problem is that a lot of changes will have to be implemented. Remember I talked about how staying in our comfort zone is normal because it's our human nature to resist change? The same thing applies to school's traditional way of teaching. And it's hypocritical to understand that the place where it's supposed to educate us the importance of changes can't seem to change their system and implement new ways of learning. But I'm not here to blame people that work for school like teachers, because I know that there are a lot of them that are keen to change their way of teaching. The main problem is that the minority of people with the authority to change things tend to resist changes because they're either too scared of taking risks or wanting to keep their high social status and wealth by not doing anything different than the past. After all, it's our human nature to stay in our comfort zone. This topic is something that needs to be discussed in another video, so I won't elaborate on this. But I just wish that amazing teachers would get paid more, because they're the ones that raise our students and give them motivation to make positive changes to Japanese society. But for now, we have understood that schools don't teach you how to learn things through doing activities and feeling energetic. So what do you do if they don't teach you how? You teach yourself how to do it. One of the things that I do is to go outside and walk around when I learn English. I feel that my energy level goes up and my motivation improves when I move. I listen to English on a platform like a podcast, or I even read a physical book when I walk outside sometimes. I talk to myself when I do things at home, like I have to do a wash, or oh, I have to start cooking dinner because it's getting late, or something like that. Creating an environment where you are exposed to English and use English is the key to keep you inspired. I always use the traditional learning method, which I sit down and learn, as well as the activity-based learning method, which I learn English through using my body. The 4 tips to make learning English more inspiring and motivating are: use meaningful materials to practice English with, set a clear goal, use English, and use your body. I've been able to learn English for more than 10 years because I've been using these tips and making sure to enjoy learning English every day. That's the end of the video today. I hope you found this video informative and helpful for you to be motivated and inspired to learn English. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content as well. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section box below. So I'll see you guys later. Bye!